I want to suck your blood. I can't do it as good as Nicolas Cage. What's up, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. I just watched Renfield. This is my Renfield movie review, and today we're talking about this Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult, both Nicholases. I didn't put that together. Oh, but they're spelled differently. That's confusing. Movie. Where was I going with that? Let's talk about it. Renfield, Dracula's henchman and inmate at the lunatic asylum for decades, longs for a life away from the Count, his various demands, and all of the bloodshed that comes with them. The movie has a pretty tight runtime at 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it's rated R for bloody violence, gore, language throughout, drug use. There are a lot of very R-rated moments in this movie, so if you're thinking about taking the kids, probably not the best idea.
No, don't do it!
Then let's start with that blood and gore. Let's start with the good aspects of this film, the things that I liked. And first of all, I did not expect it to be as bloody and crazy as it actually was. Less in a horrifying way. It definitely goes for the comedy. That's what it's trying to execute all throughout the movie. I believe it captures that a fair amount of the time. A lot of the times you want a comedy to be kind of 60-40. I would say this one is more 50-50. Some ongoing jokes didn't work the way they needed to, but when they hit hard. A lot of that humor comes from Nicolas Cage as Dracula. The line delivery, it's freaking exquisite, man. It's everything you want. You want it to be over the top. You want it to be madness. Maybe I would have preferred Cage to have another vehicle for this character, meaning be in a different movie with a different tone. I kind of want to see what he could do with that, but one that plays it straight for comedy. I guess you could appreciate it. Then you have Nicholas Hoult, also Awkwafina. Both are good in this film. Hoult's character, he's dealing with a lot, right? Renfield, he's been with Dracula all this time, but is it a toxic relationship? Is it something that exists solely because Dracula needs him, or is it a beneficial relationship? And that theme is one that carries throughout the entire movie. I thought the therapy sessions with the people in the church, they were hilarious, especially some of those actors there. The line delivery there. This is when the humor worked extremely well. When we're dealing with that theme, and anytime Dracula and Renfield are on screen together, especially when we see them more in the beginning of the movie when Dracula's face is all messed up and the prosthetics, the makeup, the effects in those moments are really, really well done. Throughout the movie, you have a various level of special effects. Some of them, you appreciate the fact that they're going for the blood and the gore, but the blood and the gore, it is CGI, and it does look fake in moments. But hey, they went for it. I respect it. But other moments, when they are going for practicality, that worked extremely well. I like our director here, Chris McKay. Chris McKay directed the Lego Batman movie, so that's where I thought the humor could come into play and work extremely well because he knows how to balance that in animated form. Also, the Tomorrow War, which I didn't love, but I think I liked it more than some critics. So both of those movies, really fun, and he worked on the Lego movie. How does that humor carry over? Well, like I said, it works here. It doesn't work here, a little bit up and down, but tonally, at least they stuck to their guns. I saw one person on Twitter compare this to What We Do in the Shadows. I think What We Do in the Shadows does it a lot better. It's more creative. I liked the filmmaking techniques a lot more in that movie, and I guess that TV show. This movie is a bit all over the place when it comes to the direction and the editing and all of those things. They're choppy. The pacing, while quick, only 90 minutes. It moves at an extreme pace to where you really don't get time to settle down and have a normal conversation with the characters.
Jesus Christ.
It happens. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. I think Renfield's arc was okay in this movie. Certain things happened a bit quick. I needed some more emotional moments, but it works on the level that I think it needs to work. But then you have Awkwafina's character. And like I said, I think Awkwafina is good in this movie, but I don't think the writing for her character in Rebecca was all that great. Not only does her storyline with her sister and something that went down with her father take up way too much of the movie, but those two things specifically didn't get fleshed out at all. They're hit upon. They're supposed to be things that push her character forward, but they never necessarily go back to that, and they focus on the corruption in the midst of this police officer unit all throughout the town. And we're looking at the end of the movie, and I'm not going to spoil what happens, but the repercussions for what every single person did, good or bad, well, they don't exist. And they're never hit upon again. And it took up such a big part of the story, which I found to be a bit pointless, and it was rushing through everything. You get to the end of the movie, and some of these police officers, they do things, and it's never brought up again. It's just like, oh, it's over. Good job. What? I get it. That's not the focus, but they made it the focus for like 25 minutes of the movie, and they don't really give us any sort of resolve there. I wish Renfield could have taken up 90% of this film, but unfortunately he doesn't. And then back to Awkwafina's character in Rebecca, there are scenes where she and Renfield are having to take on a large group of individuals, and Renfield, of course, it's described in the trailer, he does something to get powers to make himself stronger. Awkwafina's Rebecca is just a police officer, but somehow she's dodging bullets from assault rifles, taking down men 3 times her size, doing flips. I'm like, what? Did you... What?
What? No.
Ben Schwartz is in the movie as one of the Lobos, which is this big crime syndicate in this city that apparently has no repercussions for what happened. There's a lot more to this movie than I expect. They stuffed so much in it. And it's not that it's too much to keep up with. It's just like, I would have liked a bit more here and a bit more there and a bit less of this and a bit more Renfield and Dracula, to the point to where, you know, Schwartz's character, something happens to him. That's explained. That's at least given to us. So, yeah, that makes sense. But back to Awkwafina's Rebecca, and I'm like, look, she's funny, and I like her presence in the movie, but what they do to her character, there's one scene where I'm like, how did she not get shot in the face? I don't understand. I get it. Honestly, you're supposed to have fun with this movie, suspension of disbelief, but I didn't really like the editing. I thought the direction was sloppy. Some of the camera angles and the really quick cuts going back and forth and just were unnecessary to me. It makes me look at a movie like What We Do in the Shadows, just made with so much more quality, and the tone worked in that movie, and tonally this movie is consistent there, I'll give it that, but it got so overly ridiculous in moments. You're gonna have fun with it, but you are gonna question so many things about certain relationships and characters. So I felt like this movie was a bit of a missed opportunity. I wanted more from it. I wanted more from the Renfield-Dracula relationship, which is good, but that wasn't given to us enough. Also, I wanted to get my wife on here to talk about this movie with me, but unfortunately, she had to work a real job, as she liked it less than I did. Boo! If you want to support this video and drop a like, that'd be awesome. It'd help this channel. I'm not begging. I'm begging. Renfield is campy, over the top, and willing to commit to the absurdity of the premise. Cage hilariously plays it up as Dracula, and Hoult is great. The script gets in its own way more often than not, and certain inconsistencies are hard to look past. I would consider this one a mixed bag. Although it was better than that first trailer, I did not like the trailer at all. I do think it worked better than that 2 minutes. All right, what did you guys think of Renfield? Leave your thoughts down below. Is Nicolas Cage a great Dracula? It's a good question. I liked him. He was good.
Dracula. Bah. They want to suck your blood. Dracula. Duh.